Welcome, seekers of truth, to a revelation that will challenge the very foundations of your understanding. This is not a mere lecture. It is an urgent, informative warning, designed to pierce through the veil of illusion that shrouds our reality. Prepare yourselves, for the knowledge shared tonight is not for the faint of heart, but for those brave enough to confront the unseen forces shaping our world. My name is MIKHAEL Massa, and I stand before you as a messenger, tasked with illuminating the hidden architecture of power. We will delve into the intricate, often terrifying mechanisms by which an invisible occult system exerts its influence over humanity. This is an educational journey into the spiritual battlefield that defines our existence. Once you hear this lecture, you cannot unhear it. The door to this profound understanding, once opened, cannot be closed again. This is a call to awareness for adults grappling with life's complexities, students questioning societal norms, researchers seeking deeper truths, theologians exploring spiritual warfare, and conspiracy theorists validating their deepest suspicions. Welcome, then, to the stark, undeniable revelation of the unseen. We are conditioned to believe that success is a direct outcome of talent, hard work, luck, or innate gifts. This narrative, while comforting, is a carefully constructed illusion designed to obscure a far more profound and unsettling truth. The world, as presented to us, is a stage where the most significant achievements often come with an invisible spiritual price. Consider the meteoric rise of certain figures in entertainment, politics, or finance. Their ascent often defies conventional explanation, marked by inexplicable breakthroughs and unwavering protection from scandal. This is not always mere fortune. It is frequently the result of a spiritual pact, a Faustian bargain struck in the shadows. This pact whispers, "Give us your soul and the world will open its hands for you." Once that door to worldly power and influence is opened through such means, it cannot be closed. The individual becomes bound, their destiny no longer their own. Many figures you admire, the rich, the powerful, the influential, the famous, are spiritually owned. They may appear free, enjoying immense privilege, but their autonomy has been subtly or overtly surrendered. Their lives become a testament to the hidden machinery of control, a stark warning to those who covet worldly success above all else. The occult world operates through intricate spiritual contracts, often disguised as opportunities or irresistible temptations. These entities offer tantalizing rewards, immense wealth, unparalleled fame, strategic opportunities, vast influence, and doors that seemingly open effortlessly. They promise a life free from struggle, a shortcut to every human desire. However, every gift bestowed by this system comes with a meticulously calculated price. Every talent amplified, every success achieved, becomes a debt owed to a dark ledger. The payment for these boons is always exacted in forms that erode the very essence of one's being. Profound pain, relentless sacrifice, inexplicable suffering, the shedding of blood, both literal and metaphorical, and absolute unwavering obedience and loyalty to the Dark Kingdom. You do not merely gain, you become a spiritual slave. Your destiny, once a canvas of divine potential, is now a commodity owned by a kingdom that feeds on human essence. Imagine a brilliant artist who achieves global acclaim but finds their creativity slowly replaced by a hollow, repetitive output, their personal life a wasteland of addiction and despair. This is not merely the burden of fame, it is the mark of a soul bound, its original light dimmed, its true purpose hijacked. It is crucial to understand a fundamental limitation of the dark occult world. It possesses only 1/3 of the knowledge that originates from Tata and Zombie, the Most High Creator. This is a critical educational point, often overlooked, that reveals the inherent weakness and corruption of their system. Their power, though formidable to the uninitiated, is inherently incomplete and derivative. Because their understanding is partial, everything they do is based on limited power and a distorted perception of reality. They can only perceive one facet of the universe, comprehending merely a fraction of spiritual truth. This inherent limitation forces them to rely on manipulation, fear, seduction, violence, and sacrifice as their primary tools. They cannot create. They can only copy, twist, and corrupt what already exists. Consider a master forger who can perfectly replicate a masterpiece, but can never originate a truly new work of art. Similarly, the dark forces mimic divine patterns, perverting them for their own ends. This is precisely why they harbor such intense hatred for the children of light. The children of light carry the potential for full knowledge, for direct communion with the source, a potential that threatens the very foundation of the Dark Kingdom's limited, borrowed power. Their existence exposes the Dark World's fundamental inadequacy. While many in the secular world dismiss the existence of a divine creator, proclaiming the Most High does not exist, the occult world holds a terrifyingly different view. Within their hidden circles, the declaration is chillingly uniform. We have seen him. We have fought his angels. We know his children carry a terrifying power. This is not a matter of belief for them. It is a matter of direct adversarial experience. They do not deny Tata and Zombie. They actively oppose him. Their entire existence is predicated on a cosmic rebellion, a war against the divine order. This profound awareness of the Creator's reality fuels their relentless efforts to recruit souls for a conflict that is approaching with alarming speed. They understand the stakes, the ultimate battle for dominion over creation, and they are actively preparing for it. Imagine a military general who knows their enemy intimately, having faced them in countless skirmishes. This general does not question the enemy's existence or power. They strategize to defeat them. Similarly, the dark forces are not atheists. They are active combatants in a spiritual war, seeking to swell their ranks with unsuspecting human souls. This knowledge should serve as a stark warning to those who casually dismiss spiritual realities, for the enemy is very real and very active. Many individuals, when confronted with the concept of witchcraft or dark spiritual attacks, resort to carnal defenses. They believe they can combat these forces with insults, social status, physical strength, pride, or loud defiant words. This approach, however, is met with derision by those who operate in the spiritual realm. Witches and the entities they serve laugh at such futile attempts. They do not fear your mouth, your money, or your intellectual prowess. These are earthly constructs irrelevant to the spiritual battlefield. A witch, or a dark entity, operates on a different plane of existence, where material possessions and social standing hold no sway. Their power is not diminished by human scorn or physical threats. Witches fear only one thing: the spiritual weapons that emanate directly from the Most High. These are weapons that cannot be seen with the physical eye, yet they possess the power to shake the invisible world to its core. They are tools of divine authority, capable of dismantling dark strongholds and breaking spiritual chains. To engage in spiritual warfare with carnal weapons is akin to bringing a knife to a nuclear war. It is utterly ineffective and dangerously naive. True defense lies in spiritual alignment and divine empowerment. This is a profoundly disturbing truth, a stark warning about the unseen mechanisms of spiritual control. There are countless individuals walking among us whose spiritual blood, their life force, their destiny, their very essence, has already been consumed or claimed by dark forces. They appear outwardly normal. They speak, they smile, they work, they participate in society, yet beneath the surface their spiritual vitality has been irrevocably compromised. Their lifespan, their trajectory, and even the manner of their eventual demise have been meticulously calculated and predetermined in the spiritual world. Once their allotted time expires, their physical body dies precisely as planned, fulfilling the terms of an unseen spiritual contract. This is the insidious machinery of spiritual slavery, operating silently, often without the conscious awareness of the victim. Consider the individual who seems to be perpetually unlucky, whose life is a series of inexplicable misfortunes, or who succumbs to a sudden, unforeseen illness despite a healthy lifestyle. While some events are natural, others are the culmination of a spiritual debt, a life force slowly siphoned away. This serves as a grave warning. The spiritual realm is not passive. It actively intervenes in human lives, and ignorance of its workings leaves one vulnerable to its most predatory practices. For the children of light, those in true, unyielding communion with Tata and Zombie, a profound and terrifying power is bestowed. They receive spiritual weapons that darkness itself fears, tools of divine authority capable of penetrating the enemy's strongholds. With these weapons, a child of light can undertake extraordinary spiritual missions. They can descend into the very realm of the enemy, not as a victim, but as an agent of divine intervention. They can unlock spiritual prisons, freeing those held captive by dark forces. They can retrieve blessings that have been stolen or withheld, reclaiming destinies that were hijacked. They possess the power to destroy demonic strongholds, dismantling the very foundations of evil influence. Furthermore, they can expose hidden secrets, bringing to light the clandestine operations of the Dark Kingdom. However, this immense power comes with a critical caveat. It can only be wielded when all carnal weapons are abandoned. Reliance on human strength, intellect, or worldly strategies will render these divine weapons inert. This is a call to absolute spiritual purity and dependence on the Most High, a profound educational lesson in the nature of true spiritual authority. It is a warning against mixing the sacred with the profane in spiritual combat. The greatest weapon in the arsenal of darkness is not magic, witchcraft, or elaborate spells. These are merely tactics. The overarching, most effective strategy is far simpler and infinitely more insidious: to destroy your faith. Faith is the conduit through which humanity connects with the Most High, the very foundation of spiritual power and protection. Without faith, no one can truly walk with the Creator. The dark world understands this fundamental truth. They know that only approximately 25% of humanity manages to escape their pervasive influence. The remaining 75% serve them, either willingly through conscious pacts or more commonly unknowingly through manipulation, deception, and the erosion of their spiritual resolve. This is a chilling statistic, highlighting the vast scale of their operation. Consider the constant barrage of doubt, cynicism, and despair propagated through media, education, and even personal interactions. This is not accidental. It is a deliberate, systemic effort to undermine belief, to sow seeds of distrust in anything beyond the material. When faith is weakened, individuals become susceptible to every trap, every seduction, every lie. This is a critical warning. Guard your faith above all else, for it is your most vital defense against the encroaching darkness. The dark world harbors an intense, visceral hatred for marriage, and for a profound reason. Marriage, in its purest form, was instituted by the Most High. It is a sacred covenant, a divine blueprint for unity, procreation, and spiritual growth. As such, it represents a direct challenge to the forces of chaos and division. Therefore, darkness actively works to dismantle and corrupt this sacred institution. It introduces confusion about gender roles and identity, fosters loneliness even within relationships, instills a pervasive fear of commitment, and orchestrates broken relationships. It promotes infertility, perversion, and spiritual mismatching, all designed to prevent the formation of divinely ordained unions. For every child of light, there is a partner specifically prepared by the Most High, a soul designed to complement and uplift them. However, the enemy relentlessly attempts to interject its own agents: a woman of darkness, a man from its kingdom, a spiritually corrupted partner. This explains why many children of light encounter a disproportionate number of liars, manipulators, narcissists, spiritually dead individuals, or those who inexplicably flee from genuine connection. Darkness is fundamentally forbidden to unite with light. When a true child of light enters the life of an agent of darkness, the latter feels exposed, threatened, and terrified. They may react with irrational hatred or attempt to corrupt the child of light, to pull them into their own spiritual bondage. This is a crucial warning for those seeking partnership. Discern not just character but spiritual alignment, for there can be no true friendship or lasting union between good and evil. Have you ever experienced inexplicable animosity, a profound dislike from others for no discernible reason? This phenomenon is a direct consequence of your spiritual identity as a child of the Most High. When a true child of the Most High enters a room, their presence creates a spiritual ripple effect that disrupts the equilibrium of darkness. Witches feel it, their spiritual senses registering the intrusion of purity. Demons react, their malevolent energies agitated by the presence of divine light. Spiritual agents of the Dark Kingdom panic, their clandestine operations momentarily exposed. Negative souls, those aligned with lower vibrations, become profoundly uncomfortable, their inner darkness illuminated by your inherent light. Your very presence exposes their darkness, making them feel vulnerable and seen. Your spirit disrupts their plans, interfering with their subtle manipulations. Your light reveals their shadows, forcing them to confront their own spiritual state. This is not a personal attack, it is a spiritual reaction to the divine essence you carry. It is a warning that your spiritual journey will often be met with resistance, not because of anything you have done, but because of who you are. It is a common misconception that all who enter temples, churches, mosques, or spiritual centers do so with pure intentions, seeking communion with the Most High. This is a dangerous naivety. Many individuals enter these sacred spaces not to worship, but to observe, to manipulate, to plant confusion, or to actively block destinies. Some come to attack spiritually, to steal energy from sincere worshippers, or to sow discord within the community. They are agents of infiltration, wolves in sheep's clothing, whose presence serves the agenda of the Dark Kingdom. Their outward piety is a facade, a carefully constructed performance designed to deceive and exploit. However, Tata Nzambi, the Most High, sees beyond the outward performance. He discerns the true intentions of the heart, not the superficial display of religiosity. This is a critical warning for all who participate in organized religion. Exercise spiritual discernment. Do not assume purity of motive based solely on attendance or outward expressions of faith. The spiritual battlefield extends even into the most hallowed grounds, and vigilance is paramount. Many people identify themselves by religious labels: Christian, Muslim, Hindu, Buddhist, and so forth. While these traditions offer frameworks for understanding the divine, it is a crucial educational distinction to recognize that religion, in its institutionalized form, is not synonymous with spirituality. The spiritual truth, the direct connection to the Creator, existed long before any organized religion was codified. The Creator of the universe cannot be contained by human-made buildings, restrictive labels, rigid doctrines, or cultural traditions. No religion, however ancient or revered, can fully define Him. No sacred book, however profound, can limit His infinite nature. No temple, however grand, can truly hold His boundless presence. These are human attempts to grasp the divine, often valuable but never exhaustive. To confuse the map with the territory is a grave error. Religion can be a path, a guide, a community, but it is not the destination itself. True spirituality is a direct personal relationship with the Most High, unmediated by human constructs. This is a warning against spiritual complacency, against allowing dogma to replace genuine seeking, and against mistaking adherence to ritual for true communion. The enemy's most potent weapon, the one it wields with devastating effectiveness, is not a spell or a curse, but the deliberate cultivation of ignorance regarding the word of the Most High. The dark command is simple and chillingly effective: keep them away from the word. If they do not know the word, they will fall into every trap. The word of the Most High is not merely a collection of ancient texts. It is a living, dynamic force. It serves as a lamp, illuminating the path through darkness. It is a weapon, capable of repelling spiritual attacks. It acts as a shield, protecting against deception and harm. And it is an infallible guide, leading to truth and freedom. If you choose to ignore this divine word, you will inevitably walk in spiritual darkness, even while mistakenly believing you are in the light. You will be susceptible to every lie, every manipulation, every false doctrine. This is a profound warning. Immerse yourself in the Word. Study it, meditate on it, live by it. It is your primary defense, your source of discernment, and your pathway to true spiritual power. Without it, you are disarmed and vulnerable. The spiritual landscape is littered with countless books, emerging sects, and New Age movements that, on the surface, appear innocent, even enlightening. However, many of these are spiritually manipulated, engineered with a sinister purpose: to confuse, distract, and ultimately ensnare. The dark command behind these seemingly benign offerings is insidious. Let them read everything except the true word. These materials often contain fragments of truth interwoven with subtle distortions, half-truths, and outright falsehoods. They promise enlightenment, power, or self-realization, but their underlying agenda is to divert seekers from the genuine source of truth. They create labyrinthine spiritual paths that lead nowhere, or worse, into deeper bondage. Consider the proliferation of self-help gurus or spiritual leaders who offer quick fixes or esoteric knowledge that contradicts fundamental spiritual principles. These are often conduits for deception, designed to appeal to intellectual curiosity while subtly undermining true faith. This is a critical warning for students, researchers, and theologians. Exercise extreme discernment when engaging with spiritual literature and movements. Test every spirit, every teaching, against the unadulterated word of the Most High. Do not be swayed by charisma or intellectual appeal alone. The dark forces are not content to merely attack individuals. They strategically infiltrate positions of spiritual leadership. This includes leaders, prophets, musicians, choirs, pastors, and teachers within religious and spiritual communities. They understand that by corrupting those at the helm, they can steer entire congregations or movements away from truth and into deception. Music, in particular, is a potent weapon. Worship, sound, and melody are inherently spiritual, capable of opening pathways to either divine presence or dark influence. A musician without spiritual purity, one whose heart is not aligned with the Most High, can inadvertently open doors for darkness to enter sacred spaces, subtly shifting the spiritual atmosphere. Similarly, a leader without spiritual armor, one who has compromised their integrity or fallen prey to temptation, becomes an unwitting agent of chaos. Their teachings become distorted, their guidance misleading, and their influence destructive. This is a grave warning for all who look to spiritual leaders for guidance. Pray for your leaders, discern their fruit, and hold them accountable to the Word. The infiltration is real, and its consequences are devastating for those who follow blindly. Now, having unveiled these profound and often unsettling truths, you stand at a critical juncture. Every human being, whether consciously or unconsciously, must ultimately choose a side in this unseen spiritual war. The paths before you are starkly different, and their destinations are irrevocably opposed. There is the dark path, wide, seemingly easy, often colorful and full of enticing promises of worldly success, pleasure, and power. Yet this path, despite its initial allure, inevitably leads to spiritual bondage, emptiness, and ultimate destruction. It is a gilded cage, a deceptive illusion of freedom. Then there is the path of the Most High, narrow, often difficult, demanding righteousness, integrity, and unwavering faith. This path requires sacrifice and perseverance, but it leads to true freedom, profound peace, and eternal life. It is the path of genuine liberation and divine purpose. Some among you are already awake, keenly aware of these spiritual realities. Others remain asleep, oblivious to the forces at play. And tragically, many are being used by the Dark Kingdom without even knowing it, their lives subtly manipulated for an agenda they do not comprehend. But the day will come, swiftly and undeniably, when every soul will be compelled to make a conscious choice. This is not a theoretical exercise, it is the ultimate decision of your existence. Therefore I implore you, awaken your spiritual senses, seek the unadulterated word of the Most High, cultivate unwavering faith and discernment. Choose the path of light, for your eternal destiny depends on it. Do not be swayed by the fleeting allure of the world, for its true cost is your very soul. The time for complacency is over, the time for choice is now.